Good morning.
Morning.
As you guys come in, if you wouldn't mind opening up the chat feature, it's down at the bottom. If you move your to the little chat icon at the bottom of your screen, if you wouldn't mind putting in your name, grade, and school where you're teaching, just to help us out a little bit, that would be very nice. And is it Dana or Dana?
Dana.
Dana, good.
Yeah.
We've got a good group this morning. This is going to be a little different what we're doing today. Charles and I are testing some things out this morning, and this is going to be a fun experience. This is going to be kind of crazy. Thanks, Karen. Welcome. Those of you getting in, you're going to be able to unmute yourself and mute yourself. If everyone's microphones are on, sometimes it gets a little bogged down on the bandwidth. So sometimes it's good to keep it on mute unless you have a question, and then you unmute yourself and talk to us. But as you come in, if you'll open up the chat feature and type in your name, your school, and your grade level for us, that would be great, just so we can kind of keep an eye of who's here and how we can help best. We're recording the video. We'll be putting it on our website. We'll also save the chat and put it on the website. So if we put links and things on here, if people give us links, that you can be able to go back and find them. We have a good group coming in. Welcome everyone. We'll go a few more minutes. Let a few more people in. What we're going to be showing today are some features on both Zoom and Meet, and talking about ways that we can best use these platforms, these services. For those that are coming in, because we have a lot just starting to join in with us, if you wouldn't mind putting in your name, your grade, and what school you teach at in the chat. So if you move your arrow around and scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the chat feature. And if you wouldn't mind putting that information in. Because we do have a lot, we're definitely going to want you to keep it on mute. Unless you have a question, then go ahead and unmute yourself and ask that question. It seems to help the bandwidth when there's this many people on to not have your microphones on. We seem to get through a little bit easier. But if you have a question that we haven't answered, please unmute yourself and ask that question.
Greg, are you guys going to record this?
It is, yeah, we're already recording. Maybe
Perfect.
I'll pause it, but every time I pause it, I forget to start it until we're like 5 minutes into it again. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, so if you end up having to leave early, you'll be able to come back, go to our website. Here, let me even post the website on now.
You can block out the pictures if you want. Yeah.
Here's the website to where this meeting will be afterwards. We'll have that put into there. All right, well, we got 25 of us here. So we're going to get started. Let's get going. And as people join in, they can be able to find this information later on as we go. So first thing I want to show you guys as we talk about what we do in video conferencing, this comes from, let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. This comes from, oh goodness, Matt Miller with Ditch That Textbook. And this is inside, again, inside of our website. It's under General Online Tools with Video Conferencing. And here is this that we want to look at a little bit. Oh, gotta go this way for it, huh? This. Did that work? Did it all zoom for all of you? Can we even see it? That's the better question.
I can see it.
You can see it, Charles? Okay.
I can see it.
So here's what we're thinking are some great tips for us with our students. So for successful calls, when we're in here, staying engaged, giving a thumbs up. Right now I can't see any of you, so those quick, yep, we can see it are good. Having your mic muted if you're not speaking to bring the bandwidth down. Using your chat or raising your hand. In fact, I need to get my chat open. So if something needs to come up, but I have people helping me with the chat. As the teacher, there's a feature, and I'll show you these in here, where you're able to mute everyone, and you can even make it so that your students cannot unmute themselves. You have to do it for them. They can help with that. We'll show you those features, but that helps with those things. Take your own notes on a different piece of paper, on a different doc, and then if you're using video, I'm right now not looking at the camera because I'm looking down here, but to look at you with the camera, right? So you're looking there. Are good things to be able to do as you're working on things. That's where we wanted to start. So now we're going to show you some features in Zoom, unless you have, and as we go, if you have questions, please put them in the chat, and my team is here to help us out. So if I get lost, they can bring me back. So here's what we're going to do. This is, wow, we have more people now. This is going to get a little interesting. To show the features as a host in Zoom, I can't show that when I share. So we're all gonna join a meet, a Hangouts meet. I'm gonna put the link in the chat, and we're gonna click on that, and we're gonna go over there. You're gonna want to turn your camera off on this side. We're gonna go over to the Hangouts meet, and then I'm gonna come show the features that you can do on Zoom. Crazy? Good times? Okay, here is your link. Let me put it in for you. Which tab? This tab. Okay, here is your link. Let me copy it. And here it is in the chat. So if you will go and join that link, then we'll come back and show the features here. As you come in, make sure you mute yourself. Sorry. Make sure you mute yourself when you come in. You can have your video on or off. Either one doesn't matter. As you come in, I'm going to go ahead and start presenting my screen. And we're going to go back to Zoom.
Greg, we do us a favor and mute one of those mics. There's an echo.
Are both my mics on? Sorry.
Yep. Keep talking. Much better. Thank you.
Greg, I can't hear you very well.
Turn this one on and turn that one off. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So inside of our Zoom here, this is, the reason we want to show it this way is because as you host it, you have different options on your screen than as a participant, okay? I'm gonna minimize, or let's get that chat. Turn that off for a moment. So I have all my participants that are here. As the host, I have options that I can even ask people like, I need to see your video, please turn it on. I can rename you. I can remove you. I can say, see you later. I thought there was also the option, maybe there's too many of us. There's also an option that you can make their video the prominent video. You can spotlight it, and then it becomes the big screen. Maybe I need to be in presenter view before that option comes to me. Nope.
Host.
I make host, it allows then that person to take over your role. So that gives them all of these options if you want to do that. You would want to do that if you knew you were going to leave, like I've got to leave, so I'm going to make someone else the host, because if I leave, it kicks everybody out. That's what the make host option is going to be used for. Putting on hold, I haven't tried this feature. When we read about it, it almost sounded like it removed them. Putting it on hold, but it said temporary. I don't understand what that means, but I don't want to do it to anybody because I don't want to kick you out on accident. You can open a specific chat for the person as the host. I can mute you all and mute you all. And then here, this is the big key is on these. So I muted it. So when you all came in, you were automatically muted. But I knew your permission to unmute yourselves. I could turn that feature off. So if you're with your students, you're like, nope, you're all coming in muted, and I get to unmute you when you want to talk versus giving them the opportunity. It's crazy. You can do that.
Greg?
Yes, Charles.
Can I mention one thing about that? Is that was a huge feature for a teacher who upper grade, 6th grade, I believe, and said that her kids were messing with her a little bit by unmuting themselves, and then she would mute them and they'd unmute themselves. So that's a nice feature for the teacher to know, locking that down so kids aren't messing with you like that.
Yep. You can turn on the music, so if people come in and out, you get a little tone to let you know. Here's the great one that I also like. As soon as you know everyone is here, lock my meeting. No new attendees can join this meeting once you've locked it. That keeps, again, other people that might get the link later on from someone sharing it over their shoulder. They can't get into your meeting. You're like, I know everyone's here, so we're done. And we lock it down. Okay, over here, here's some features. Let me actually put the participants down. Okay. Screen features. We have one participant can share at a time. You can also make it so multiple people can share at the same time. I think that can get a little messy, so I haven't done that one. But you also have advanced sharing features. So if I come in here, how many people can share? I have one at a time, but right now, the default is who can share is only the host. This makes it so your students can't just start popping things up. They can't just start throwing things up on you. If you do want someone else to share, then you can turn it over here and say, all right, all participants. But if kids start going crazy, you can always come back in and say, okay, we're done, and you're the one that has the sharing option. But that, if you know someone else needs to share, wants to share, that's the option that you put it there while you are inside going on it. You can turn that feature on beforehand in your settings. Amy, did you have a question? I saw your hand pop up. Oh, you're on mute, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to click it off on my screen, not in the bottom. Are we supposed to be seeing your screen right now or just still gallery view?
So you're seeing my screen. It's the gallery view from my screen because we're doing this from Meet. I'm showing you what Zoom looks like because when you share your screen in Zoom, I can't show what this looks like.
So we should just be, like when you say you can click this, you can click this, I'm not seeing anything.
You don't see where it says advanced sharing options? How many participants?
No.
You're not seeing that? Oh.
I think we need to know how to get to a view where we can see your screen better on Google Meet.
On Google Meet. So I'm presenting. Everyone can see. So you all can see my screen, right?
Is she in Google Meet seeing your screen or just in
Oh.
Zoom? I think that's the problem.
Yeah,
That might
exactly.
be it. Okay. Good call. Amy, did you come in a little bit after we started? Okay, let me repost in the chat because you might not see this. Let me repost this link. We are inside of Google Meet right now. Okay. Whoa. I think you have both your microphones on for both Meet and Zoom. Okay, I'll come back to the Meet real quick. Who was asking that question?
That was Scott.
Oh, Scott, okay. So what was your question, Scott? You said you had your gallery view on? Meet. Okay. For Meet. Yeah, I can do grid view as well. Is that I don't, are you having trouble seeing all these things over here, Scott? I'm thinking that's what it was, is that some people were still in Zoom and not in Meet, because I'm sharing my screen, so everyone should be able to see it. Okay. Jennifer, make sure your video isn't on in Zoom. Maybe that'll help if it's not letting you in. Okay, so back over to here. This is where you can allow other people to join in. Few other options. Let's shut that down. Here in our more, I can pause the recording, stop the recording, and I have breakout rooms. We'll come back to that in a little bit. We'll do the breakout rooms in a little bit. In your camera, so you have all these other options. When you see up arrows, you have other options. You can see your microphone options to test things out, your video. If you noticed, I'm riding Space Mountain right now. That's in your choose virtual background. In here, you can upload a video by pushing the plus here, or a video or an image. And then you can add that in to change, like now I'm in Disneyland. Woo, I'm still at Disneyland. I'm just riding this ride. That's a fun little feature. You have your video settings to be able to come in. That takes me to everything. The virtual background is there, but these are all of your things in there as well. In your participants, what was the other thing we were going to show? Charles, do you remember the other thing we wanted to show over here?
I am looking back over. I believe you covered it all. The three little dots or the more, and those settings was important.
Yep. Okay. If you'll all switch over to your Zoom, I'm going to turn off the.
Oh, before you leave Google, do you want to tell them about leaving Google as a teacher and student?
Can you all see my screen like this with the microphone, the leave call, and the camera inside of Google? Can you all see that? That's what I show that from Zoom. Oh, we can? Okay, Good. I'll show those from here then. I thought I might have to show it from Zoom. When you're in Google Meet, a couple of things to know. Over here is your information, the details about it. This is where I got the information to send to all of you. So I just copied this and pasted it into that other link. So there's a link to be able to send to people. Over here are your 3 dots. I call them the jelly beans. You can record a meeting. You can change how it looks. Your settings, all it is are your audio and video settings. It doesn't have other features with it inside. And those things. Here is the great feature with it. Oh, there's a chat here. Okay. Here's the nice feature about this. The default setting is if you are if you have a nebo.edu account, you can come in just like you all did. If you have a student account, it kind of puts them in a waiting room. So when they come into this area, you'll be clicking on allow into the meeting, allow into the meeting. If you kick them out of the meeting, they can still click on the link to come back in, but you have to allow them in again. So if they're like, no, I'm sorry, you've been not participating where you're supposed to, you can kick them out. And if they try to come back in, you just deny entry and they can't come back in with you. So that's a nice feature here inside of Google Meet. So what you would want to do is make sure, Charles, I'm gonna kick you out if that's all right, to show this.
Sad.
Yep. So I can pin the student, which means they get pinned to the screen. They're like the front screen. Charles there, he's the front screen. I can unmute him or mute him if I need to. But if the student's not doing what they're supposed to, I can now remove Charles from the call. Bye, Charles. Okay, so Charles is now gone. He could try to join again, and because he's a nebo.edu, he could just get back in. But as a student, if they try to come back in, you'd get a notification that would say, so-and-so would like to join the group, and you can either accept or deny entry. And you're like, sorry, you've lost your privilege to be with us in this group today.
I'm back.
Yeah, you're over there in Zoom talking to us. Good job. All right, Charles, is there anything else we need to show in this?
I guess a quick reminder for teachers, when you finish a meeting, make sure that you kick every student out of that meeting and then you close the meeting. Yep.
Yep. So before you get out, make sure everyone's gone, and then you can go ahead and leave your call. Because if I leave it now, you're all still going to be there. So you want to make sure everyone's logged on their own. If not, you kick them out and then you hit leave call yourself.
Otherwise, you leave and students are still chatting about whatever.
Yeah. So, cool. All right, I'm gonna go and close this. You're all welcome to close this call. Let's go back to Zoom. So back on. Okay, here we go. We're all back. Woo, good times. All right, now that we've shown those things, are there other features that you would like us to show? Do you have questions about Zoom, things we can do, something you want to see?
How to set up a meeting?
Should have done that. Yes, we can still do that. Okay, thanks for reminding me about that, Charles. Okay, so sharing our screen. So when you come into Zoom, move this out of the way. As you come in, we're already logged in, so I don't want to log out just in case it kicks me out of this meeting. But you'll have a place that'll say sign in or sign in for free, make an account. Once you have your account, if you go here, now you have the options for, when you're over here in your account profile, you have the options for schedule a meeting, join a meeting, or host a meeting. The other screen didn't have the schedule a meeting point. This is a nice little feature. When you get to your meetings, here's the scheduled ones, like here's our seesaw that's coming on later on today. We can go look at all the previous meetings that we've had, at the information that are on those. You also have a personal meeting room. We're actually, as we're learning more, we're really liking this feature.
Seeing your screen at all. I'm seeing somebody's face.
Just black.
No, I'm seeing somebody, one of the attendees' faces.
Are you still in Google Meet?
No, am I still on Google Meet? Okay, I guess I am.
It's all right.
Okay, thanks. I'll keep trying.
Can you see my screen now?
I see your face over and in a middle, little teeny box on the side.
Inside, is it black or do you see my screen?
Yes.
It's black?
Yes. Well, I mean, it's the black box, and then I see everybody's faces and yours in the top corner.
Okay, let me stop share and share again. Is that better?
I'm seeing nothing but a little sidebar with people. Swap share screen video. Okay, now I see your screen.
Okay. All right, good deal. Okay. So in your personal meeting, you'll notice that I can add straight to your calendars that you have. So I can put a meeting right into Google Calendar. And it's using your personal, this little meeting ID. So every link is going to be the same. You just always keep using this link over and over and over versus having to create new ones. That's a nice feature. It just is going to be what your personal name is called. You come down and you can edit the meeting. You can turn on a password that's required. We like the enable the waiting room. Allows people to be there still waiting for you. And then it gives you, as the teacher and the host, you get to accept people that come in. Once you're in, you can always turn that feature off. And say, okay, I'm in, I'm good with everyone who's coming, and you can turn that off. But you can make a waiting room so you can see each person and accept them as they come in. You have to click on the little link that says accept. So if there's someone that shows up that shouldn't be there, you don't have to let them into the meeting. You can turn on the record the meeting automatically. That's what we've done with our meetings that we've done with Zoom. This one we're thinking is not a great thing to do now with your students. So they can get on and just start talking away before you get there. So we think that's not your best option. And then you save it and it's ready to go. You can then add it to your calendar. You can email out the link to everybody. And all you have to do is say when it's happening, put it in your calendar, and they just click on the link and it comes there. So that it's kind of a reoccurring event. Something else we want to show in here. So upcoming meetings or scheduled meeting. Let me just click it there. So let's schedule a new meeting. Here, so tomorrow we have a meeting that's going to be on Google Slides. I'm not going to save this one because it's already in there. But you can choose the date and the time. You can make it a recurring meeting. You can generate it automatically or use your personal meeting ID. You can require a meeting. The video, I have it so the host video is on already, but no one else's is when you first come in. And then again, you have those options of what you're going to do. And then you click save and it'll look just like the other meeting did. Settings. There are so many settings inside of Zoom to look through. So we're gonna go through and talk about some of them and some of our favorites. As you do this, it shows start with your video on. That's also a thing you can do inside as you're scheduling the meeting to go. Same thing with your participants video. This one, as we've been learning about it, we really like this so that it's always the same link to come to. However, if you're always coming to the same link, you might want to think about a password to add to it. Here you can require that password when you're scheduling those meetings. What we have right now that we've been doing is we've just embedded the password in the link. So when you click on the link, it brings you right in, even with the password. Muting your participants when they enter, having that as a default setting. You can get your reminders for things that are coming up. Here is something that we saw today that we really liked. In the chat features, it allows us to have our chat. You can even talk to individuals. If you click over on the little chat icon, you can see it says everyone. You click on the arrow, you can click on specific people. But this is a nice feature here. we're just turning on auto save. So the host, it automatically gets saved. You don't need to hit the save, the chat at the end of it. Automatically gets done for you. This gives you the option as a file transfer. It gives you the option to be able to send files through the meeting. If you want, you can turn on feedback for Zoom or have a survey for everyone to take at the end. We haven't done that. See this one, that place on hold, it says allows them to temporarily remove an attendee from the meeting. So I think if I put you on hold, I'm kind of kicking you out versus the remove button, but I think they kind of do the same thing. Haven't tried it, don't know for sure. But that's what we're thinking would happen. If anyone knows differently, please chime in and let me know. This, as you move your arrow, you'll see that your control bar will show up. This could just leave that control bar on always. All right, so here is this, the setting that we had before. This is why the default is who can share is the host only versus all the participants. So when I put it on this one, that's my default, and then I can go in and change that inside of the share options. I can then make it who else can share and change it within the Zoom itself. So we like that feature. This lets you use like your whiteboard and annotating screen. So I'll switch this over really fast so you can see that. You can create a whiteboard. Look, let's play Pictionary. So you can have your whiteboard and draw on this, and it records it as well if you're doing those things. Come back. This allows the opportunity.
Craig,
Yes, what?
how did you get the whiteboard? Just by sliding that over in settings, or?
So no, it's oh goodness, I shouldn't have closed the Google Meet. It's in, if you scroll down and you'll see the share button. And when you click on the share button, one of the options is whiteboard. But I don't even know if you can click on it right now. Let me stop share and we'll come back in. So everyone can, okay. So if you click on your share button, the share screen, you'll see you have an option, and everyone can go ahead and do it. Just don't click the blue share afterwards. But if you click on the green share button, you'll see you have the options for whiteboard, iPhone, iPad, my settings for Zoom, so the screen I was on. Oh, who's coming in? Daniel decided to hit his.
Oh, sorry.
You're good, you're fine. Hey, can I show something while you're doing that?
Yes.
Okay, so while you're still sharing, I'm going to do this really quick. What I've done from Daniel is I've asked him if I can have control of his screen. Did you give me a recording screen by chance? Did you give me the option? I'll try
You want me to approve?
Yeah, hit approve.
Got it.
Okay, so I now can come in and I am drawing on his screen. So that was where, and I'll show you that again when we go back to those settings, is you have the option, if you turn that on, if they've said yes to it, you can take remote access and help out if you need to. So I'm going to give it back to you now. And I'm going to take over because I'm the host, so I can take my screen back. Okay. But that's where those features
So, Grace?
Yes.
Sorry. When I click share, mine just says, or when I in the other screen, it just said desktop or application.
Amy, that was a little hard to hear. Would you mind typing that in, and then I'll read it and share that with everybody?
Another thing we can do is if you turn off your video, that also helps with the audio. Just turn off the video part, and that's okay. It just goes to that blank screen with just your name on it, and then your audio works a little bit better.
Thanks, Charles. Okay, so Amy, maybe ask that question again.
So when I click, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so when I click the green share button, when we were in the other screen, it just said desktop or application. I didn't see a whiteboard.
Okay, so in your settings then, let me go back to here. It's possible that in your settings, this is not turned on. Your whiteboard.
Oh, okay.
So when you go into settings, look for these things, and that's probably why.
Okay, I'll fiddle around with that. Thank you.
Yep. Here is where you have this opportunity. If you remove somebody, they are not allowed back in. This right here, you can turn that on so they can come back in, but this right now, if you leave it the way it is, they are not allowed back in. I believe it puts them in the waiting room, similar to Google Meet, where you can give the okay. It might just say you're not allowed back in, but they can't just jump back in. I won't do that to you this time, Charles, to try that out.
Don't you wish you had that in the classroom where you just put a kid in timeout for 5 minutes and they can't mess around?
Yeah.
And then let them back in? That'd be awesome.
That'd be so nice. We're going to do breakout in just a minute. We're going to do the breakout rooms. The remote support, if you turn this one on, you can't do breakout rooms. But if you have the remote control on, you can still kind of do what this remote support is. You can turn on your captions and all these other things. Here's your virtual background. So if you want to have a picture background or a video background like we have, that's where that setting is. Identify guest participants. This looks like it's a, if you set up a meeting in your calendar and you invite people to come in, they're going to be actual participants. Anyone else that comes in, it'll show them as a guest, but the guests don't see that they're guests. But that's not really a feature that we think is very, very big. The rest of things, here's your waiting room to turn that on. You have notifications, and this one we haven't tried yet. It enables to use, you can blur sensitive information if you do a snapshot inside of it. I haven't tried to do a snapshot inside. And then this one is we tried the schedule privilege so that you could let someone else do a meeting on your behalf, but that is a paid feature. So we can't turn that one on. And some of these are paid features, you just don't know until you try to do it. And it says, oh, by the way, that's a paid feature. Right? But it does a lot for you inside. We're gonna come back now. I'm gonna stop my share. We're gonna do a breakout room. We do 2 rooms. I'm gonna let it do it automatically, but you have the option to do it manually if you've turned it on. Do it manually, because I was gonna have Charles be in charge of one of them. Yeah, okay, we're gonna do this fast. I'm gonna assign room 1. Do room 2 first. Get Charles in room 2. Okay, room 1, I'm gonna just and room 2. I don't even know how many people are in here. Charles, I'm going to put more in your room.
Thank you.
I didn't know how many people we had. We have, let's see. We have 42 people with us.
Hey, Greg, while you're doing that, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So in Zoom, is it a little different where I can mute all the participants and keep them muted? And then do I have control over that? Like,
yes.
Like in Google Meets, I can mute them, but then they unmute themselves all the time and they're always, and
yeah.
I just like, you know.
In Zoom, you do have the opportunity to mute everyone, and you have the option in that more button that we looked at before that turn off, allow participants to unmute themselves. So if you turn that off, you can mute everyone and they can't unmute themselves. You have to be the one. Okay, here we go. This is the first time. Ready? Here we go. Breakout room.
And it's asking us to join, so I'm gonna say join.
So join your room. So now I'm in a room. I imagine only you people can hear me that are in this room. Yeah, we need to hit join too. Okay, so here's R12. Good times, right? So if you say you wanted to have guided reading groups, you could create rooms. And as the host, I think I have the ability to jump between rooms. I joined this room. I'm going to try it. I'm going to go see if I can join the other room. So I'll be back. Good.
I could, but.
As the teacher and the host, I can bounce between all the rooms.
Cool.
I'll have to stop talking about you then.
I know. Don't say bad things about me.
We just were.
I'll go back to my other room. You're welcome to do it again. Greg,
can you combine rooms again or end these, or do we have to do that?
I can broadcast to all, and then I have and I'll try it in just a second, an option that says close all rooms. So I'm going to try that in just a moment. So I'm going to go back to the first one.
So I had the same issue with students not hearing me. It took 30 minutes before it finally allowed them to hear me. So what I did is I tried without the video the next time, because I did a morning and afternoon, and the afternoon just went fine.
I did my kids
Are you
yesterday.
talking about having the video with audio?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to combine us back all together. Here we go. Okay, so everyone's back. So this would then be a way, like if you had guided reading or you want to have separate groups, you could separate them out to let them go talk. However, as Charles pointed out, they were talking about me in their room. So you got to be careful that your students can talk about you. But it allows you as the teacher, you can bounce into each room and talk to those groups while they're talking as well. And then when you're done, you can bring them back all together. So that's a fun little feature. Like that. Okay, looks like there's some chats coming up. Questions and things? Charles, did we cover everything we were hoping to cover?
Could you talk a little bit more about those task cards? Where did you get those? Is that something you downloaded or something that you had, like a Zoom task card? You showed that briefly for a second, maybe? Or was that in the that PowerPoint you were showing?
Scott, I'll answer that. Scott, that's on our website.
Okay.
So we have under the general, there's online tools. We have a video conference page, and there's a slide deck that has those Zoom task cards are there.
Okay, that's a slide deck then.
Yeah.
I'll go back to where that is. Let me share my screen. So in here, come back. This is inside of the website that we've made. And so when you come to the home, here's our at-home learning resources. Under general online tools, so we click on general, click on online tools, video conferencing. This then brings us to that page where I was showing you this, but here are the task cards as well that we have. So there's all the information inside of here for those. Good question. Set up the breakout rooms. Is that just in settings? Yes, in settings, you turn on breakout rooms, and then when you're in the Zoom, then you can go to your breakout rooms and separate the students to where they need to go. Okay. Was that just so much fun? That was kind of crazy, doing 2 meets at the same time. That was fun. I liked it. Hopefully that was helpful. This will be on our website in the webinars. I'll go to where that is. So in our website, it's in elementary, but we have Zoom webinars. And here are all the webinars that we've had so far. And we will add this one to it. That's a great picture of Miles there. It's not scrolling anymore. Sorry, Miles. So this one will be here as well. We'll have the chat in there, so you have the links from what we've done to get to those places. But those will all be there. Check out our at-home learning website for more information. Yeah, I think that's it. If I missed anything?
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Good luck, everyone. Enjoy your Zooms. See ya. I'll go and end the meeting for y'all after I verify.
One more time, if you haven't, please enter your name, grade level, and school in the chat. We're looking at possibly giving credit for something in the future for something like this. So we're trying to keep rolling attendance that way. Thank you.
Thanks, Charles. A moment before I end the meeting then. And we're going to end the meeting in 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, to Ann Brown with your question that just came in. The bandwidth issues that we're finding are things to help with it are keeping things muted and your video screen off. That helps bring the bandwidth down so that your students can hear you better. And then as one at a time comes in to say things, that seems to help. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.